More now on this hour's breaking news from Malaysia. The country will enter a full lockdown from the 1st of June for 2 weeks as COVID-19 infections there surge. Melissa Goh joins us live now from Kuala Lumpur for more. Mel, the government has confirmed a total lockdown.
Yes, indeed. A return to a total lockdown is inevitable, according to a statement released by the Prime Minister's office. This after a record-breaking number of new cases Malaysia is witnessing the past week, surpassing 8,000 mark today, and looks set to rise further as infectivity rate is still hovering around 1.2. Now, the healthcare system is already at a breaking point, and the new wave is a lot more infectious and harder to control. And with mounting death toll at more than 2,500, the government said a full lockdown is for 2 weeks from June 1st to 14th, and during that period, only essential services can operate. The rest to stay at home. Now, it's a full lockdown. Details will be released by the National Security Council later, the statement said. Now, if the situation improves, the country then will move into phase 2 for 4 weeks, where there will be some relaxation in the movement restrictions with certain sectors that can adhere strictly to social distancing allowed to operate. Now, phase 3 thereafter will involve further easing like what we have right now, but details still sketchy at this point in time, but it appears to be a plan with 3 phases involved, depending on the situation on the ground. Now, Malaysians are gripped by the announcement today, and some, of course, will be welcoming because this is the fastest way, they said, to bring cases down, while others are considering the cost of the economy may be grave at 2.4 billion ringgit a day. That's over $600 million US. That's something that they have been weighing between life and livelihood for all this while.
And Mel, the pressure is also on Malaysia to now accelerate its vaccination drive. What's the progress been on that?
Well, it's a race against time, but with most of the vaccine supply yet to arrive, the minister in charge of National Immunisation Programme, Hairi Jamaluddin, urged the public to be patient and promised that the pace of vaccination will pick up significantly from June onwards. That's when some of the 16 million doses of vaccines are scheduled to arrive over the next couple of months. Now, since the rollout began last February, some 10% of the targeted population of 26 million people have received their first shots, at least. Now, it's still a long way off before the country can achieve herd immunity. Now, people are getting impatient, especially with daily runaway cases and mounting death toll. But Minister Hairi is confident to vaccinate 80% of the population, he said, by year-end. In fact, he announced today that the East Malaysian state of Sarawak will be first to be fully vaccinated. Now, he's promised to deliver 4.4 million doses of vaccines to the state government. Now, speaking from the state capital, Kuching, Mr. Hairi said this is to make sure that the country will not see a repeat of the Sabah state election, remember, last September, that unleashed the third wave of the pandemic, which today is still raging because what happened was back then people visited Sabah, including the politicians. It brought back the virus and spread to all the states across the peninsula. And now Sarawak state election is long overdue and everyone is worried about that. And Mr. Hairi said they must make sure that the state is ready when it happens, when the time comes. Let's listen in.
I don't know if you remember what happened during the Sabah state election. If the state of Sarawak is not fully vaccinated, by the time they have the state elections, then not only the state of Sarawak, but the entire country of Malaysia is at risk of another wave. And we cannot afford that. So it's not a political matter of preference, rather it's a legal requirement for Sarawak to have its election 60 days after the emergency is lifted.
Now, Malaysia declared a state of emergency back in January to contain the spread of COVID-19 that unfortunately is still raging right now. The emergency proclamation expires on August 1st.
Mel, thank you for that update. Melissa Goh there in Kuala Lumpur.